They have the dark glass too, and you're drinking it, and you're like, wait a minute, how did I get so low in this bottle? You're like, this is like I've done a half a bottle, and you're like, wait a minute. So
it almost needs like a little tide window on the side, like a little level indicator, so you can see how much down there.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 68 of the Mashup, the best bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Michael, Anthony, and Steven. Good evening, Anthony.
Good evening, Steven. I want to say this, okay? I'm one of those people that my kids screw something up. When I say screw it up, like I hand my daughter something, and I'm like, listen, this is fragile. Don't break it. I look away for a second, and she like smashes on the ground.
What did you have happen?
Okay, so when you have as much bourbon as we do, you know, we have a lot of bourbon. We like to set it on shelves and move it around, you know, like all the people out there do. So it's like, I don't know about you guys. I'm the kind of person, I'm constantly moving stuff. I'm moving stuff between one shelf to another, moving stuff between a cabinet to another. So I grabbed a bottle of, I'm trying to think what the second bottle was. I had a bottle of bourbon, and then I had a bottle of tequila. Mm-hmm. And the tequila had a glass topper on it, like that holds a shot. It's called a Cava de Oro. It's a tequila I had recently. I'm not a tequila drinker, but this one's aged 5 years. It's delicious tequila.
What were you doing with it?
So I had taken it to a friend's house for them to try it. And so I had left it outside, and I was bringing it back in the house. And, you know, the living room at my house, we got my wife's in there, kids are running around and stuff. So I walked in with these two bottles that were, you know, half empty or whatever. And I'm walking toward where I would store them at. And the craziest thing happens. I lose my grip because, you know, like bourbon bottles, you got a cork on top, so you're not like holding anything by the cork.
Yeah.
But I was holding this by the neck, and my hand slipped a little bit. And the next thing you know, like I'm holding the top, and the bottle falls out from underneath. No. And it hits the corner of the table.
Oh, and it shattered everywhere, huh?
Yeah. You'd think it would have shattered everywhere. The bottle itself. Instead, this bottle is so boss that it cracked the marble table.
What?
The corner of the table just like smashed right off. The tequila's pouring everywhere. My daughter's like, ah! She's screaming and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? So I picked the bottle up as fast as I can. And my wife's like, what just happened? And she's like, is that the glass that broke? Because she was confused. And I'm like, no, the bottle broke the dang table. It shattered, it cracked the marble in half. So
glass broke marble.
Yes, which I still am trying to figure that out. But I will say this, like, you know, I had this moment where I was thinking to myself, I'm quick sometimes to yell at my kids. And all I was doing was walking in the house with some, you know, alcohol. And here I am breaking a table. And I'm feeling like trash because it was an expensive table. And I'm thinking like my kids are over there. They're like, oh, Dad made a mistake, this and that, the next thing. And I'm just like, yeah, I need to be a little bit nicer to them. You know what I mean? Do you get like that ever when they break things? Like you get kind of angry. You're like, oh, you know, a little bit, yeah.
So the bottle stayed in one piece.
The bottle was in one piece, which is crazy.
And what was the name of the tequila?
It's a Cava de Oro, I think, and it's very delicious tequila.
Did it have like a fat bottom?
It does, but like I totally don't. I mean, they must have some really nice glass manufacturing because I was shocked. I mean, I've broken a couple of alcohol bottles in my day. The last one was a bottle of Aperol. So we had a bottle of Aperol on top of the refrigerator, and it just kept inching over to the corner.
Yeah.
And then one day it was like the refrigerator door got slammed, and the Aperol fell off, and it just shattered.
Oh.
It just shattered everywhere. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, the Aperol spritz, that was the last bottle of alcohol that shattered at my house. But yeah, I've never seen one hit. Like it dropped a bottle of Willet one time, but it landed on the cap and somehow didn't break.
That's amazing.
Yeah, pretty amazing. But yeah, this tequila is legit.
No doubt, especially breaking marble.
Oh yeah, man. It's funny. I just turned the table around and like stacked behind it and act like nothing ever happened. But yeah, I'm probably have to get a new table now. It's a side table, so.
Jeez. So we had no shout outs this week.
We didn't.
No.
But we're still riding that high of the people that gave us a 4-star. It's 4 stars, right? Is it 4?
5.
5. Give us 5-star reviews.
Yeah, don't worry about the 4.
We don't want 4-star
Like the 5s.
reviews. But I did want to give a quick special feature shout out to Jackson Wine and Spirits. So this is a place I've been going to for probably the last 2 or 3 years. They're like on the, I guess it would be the north side of Lexington in a, I don't know, kind of in an area of town that's kind of like, it's on the come up, but essentially they have a great bourbon selection. They do a lot of barrel picks over there. It's family owned. John and Eric Ledford, father and son combo. They're great people. I've really just been, over the years become very close with them. And if you're visiting Lexington, go down and see them because they got great barrel picks. They got a lot of bourbon selection, and they got plans to open a new store in the same location. They're just going to
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, revamp it and make it bigger and have a little bit more space because right now they're in a really small space. And so I'm really excited for that. I'm like excited for them. And I don't know, like I just kind of feel like with them, it's family. And that's a great feeling to have when you're, when it comes to bourbon. So
yeah.
Big shout out to them.
If anyone wants a shout out, just leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. The next time I record, we will give you one. But for this week, Anthony, we have a bottle of Smoke Wagon Uncut, Unfiltered, Straight Bourbon Whiskey.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm really excited about this one because it was years. I've heard about Smoke Wagon for a lot of years. And then now they finally hit Kentucky. I think it was probably 2 years ago. And so the distillery here.
Sounds like a fantastic time to hit Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. Right in the middle of the pandemic. Here's Smoke Wagon coming along. So this comes from Nevada H&C Distillery in Las Vegas, Nevada. And that H&C stands for Hensley and Chepanek. And the bottle date here is April 8th, 2022. And this is batch 142B. The ABV on this is 57.58. The proof is 115.16. This is non-age stated, but it is MGP distillate. So it's 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. That's the MGP high rye mash bill. The MSRP is listed at $60, but I will just tell you guys out there that I have not seen this for $60 anywhere. Most places sell it for $75 or more, and I think I looked at Total Wine just to see, because Total Wine's supposed to have the best prices. Yeah, wink, wink.
Here it goes.
But I think they sell it for $76. So it's, even if the MSRP is listed at $60, you're probably not going to find it. You're probably going to find it for between $70 and $90. That's more true to what people are selling it for.
Is this a on the shelf product or is this a allocated product?
So that's kind of a weird one because it is on the shelf from time to time, but it seems like the uncut, unfiltered sells out quickly and is not in stock as much. They do have a small batch, and I think one other product, and they have stuff that's even more rare than this, like single barrels and stuff like that you can buy through their website that you'll never see in a store. But this is probably the high end of their core product. Okay. So, yeah, it's almost like if you're comparing it to something, you got Buffalo Trace, right? And they got your Stag Juniors and your, E.H. Taylor barrel proofs and stuff like that. It would kind of rank there, I would say, if you're looking for a comparison. This is a premium product for them, I would say.
Nice.
Yep.
The bottle is, I would say, definitely eye-catching.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, look at this thing, man. The gold and this big wax medallion in the middle, like
that's inset into the glass.
Yeah,
and then all the flowers or vines, all over embossed into the glass.
Oh yeah,
and the gold label, it says Vegas, so it's got to be gold, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think if you had to give I know I've talked about Blue Run before. You know what I love about Blue Run, their simplicity and their design of their butterfly and stuff. But I think this, for a, up and coming whiskey, is probably some of the better packaging I've seen in quite a while. I mean, that's a really nice package.
I like the dark glass.
Yeah. The only thing I hate, what do you hate about the dark glass?
Well, you're going to say you can't see how much is left.
You can't see how much is left, and I hate this. It's the same thing with New Riff, because I love New Riff, right? Mm-hmm. They have the dark glass too, and you're drinking it, and you're like, "Wait a minute, how did I get so low in this bottle?" You're like, "This like I've done a half a bottle," and you're like, "Wait a minute." So
it almost needs like a little tide window on the side, like a little level indicator, so you can see how much down there.
That'd be awesome. We do need that. Hey, if you're listening out there, anybody that has dark glass in their whiskey, we need
a little tide indicator.
A little tide indicator, a little window that shows you how many ounces you got left.
It doesn't have to be the whole thing. You can start it off like halfway and just go down. So
yeah.
It's a little mystery until you get to half, and then you know you need to replace it.
No, I love that. I think it's a great idea. But the one thing I will say about this is it's definitely eye-catching. It's something that people are interested in. I remember when I first got my hands on the first 2 bottles of Smoke Wagon Uncut Unfiltered, I had a buddy over, and he was like, "Listen, I'm going to a friend's house, and he likes bourbon. I've never seen this before. How much would you want for a bottle?" So I just sold it to him at cost and said, "Don't worry about it. Hope your friend has a good birthday."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Thanks so much." He's like, "That really made my buddy's day." And so I didn't think anything of it because this was probably more than 2 years ago when I had done that. And
when they got to the scene.
Right when they got to the scene in Kentucky. But when I got those bottles, it was still when you had to get them off of like a website to get shipped. You couldn't get them on the shelf in Kentucky. They didn't have distribution here yet. So, yeah, definitely a nice bottle for sure.
Well, Anthony, should we go ahead and go for our first notes on this bottle?
Sounds good. There's some ethanol that hits you right off the bat, but there's also some nice bourbon smells that I'm getting. I guess the best way to put it.
I agree with you on the ethanol. It's subtle. It's not much.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking a 115, 116 proof.
Yeah, which is it's pretty hefty proof for a whiskey. So
it's going to sound weird, but it smells clean.
Yeah,
but clean not in a like light and airy kind of way.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not really picking up any like traditional nosing of it.
Yeah,
but the nose feels like there's weight there.
No, I think there's a great synopsis of it.
I'm not really getting like, I can't say I'm getting like, vanilla, caramel, butterscotch, soda, cherry, chocolate, coffee. I'm not getting any of that. I smell something, but I'm not smelling anything, like nothing specific.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good assessment. And I will just say from my end, the only thing I'm getting on the nose is really like spice and floral. That's it. But I'm not getting like what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's there though, because there's something coming through. I'm just not sure.
Something's going in my nose.
Like canceling things out.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
It's like an overlap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very weird.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad
at all. It's not
bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's like,
I'm
just not getting anything.
Yeah. My signature phrase, not great, not terrible.
So you say that for the kids?
I say it to everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's always not great, not terrible. Everything is not great, not terrible. But yeah, this is
like I get the spice. That comes through with what you're talking about.
It's a little spice, and to me, the floral part of it is like I don't even know how to explain it. My wife's been like chopping a lot of flowers lately. We grow peonies outside and a lot of other stuff that's coming up this time of year. So she'll put that stuff on the counter, and being I'm highly allergic, it's nice to have pollen in the house. Thank you, honey. I love it. But I'm kind of getting like it's a little bit of floral nose too there. So I don't know.
If you do the tasting with your mouth,
yeah,
I can get the caramel.
Yeah, like with your mouth open, is what you're saying?
Breathe it through your mouth.
Breathe through your mouth. Yeah. There is some caramel when you do that, and I get very faint, and I would say it's very back end kind of stuff. It's not the top of the list.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
So besides this product is probably what I see the most, let's say on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just the uncut, unfiltered. So do they have like a lower end or a higher end version of their product?
Yeah, I think so. Like, and here's the thing: I'm not super versed on this. I just know what I've read, and I know they started off like distilling vodka and bottling vodka and stuff like that, and it kind of gave them the
like
capability.
They all do, right?
But yeah, bourbon, and so they do like. It's weird. So they do these special bottlings that are very high end. They're only available through their website. And it's like Desert Jewel, and like I've seen one that's like hot and sweet and spicy and all this other stuff.
Wait, is this Chinese food you're talking about?
I know it sounds like it, doesn't it? It's like, you want the orange chicken? Okay, all right, there you go. You get some, or the General So, there you go. But So they do the high end stuff, and then they do the small batch, and they do like special releases around the holidays and Halloween, where they have like a special bottle that's got like a painted front on it, like it's got Christmas trees or like pumpkins or whatever. And so, what's interesting is I remember, I don't know their brand portfolio inside out, but I do know that I think the Halloween bottle. I'm trying to remember. I think a buddy brought it down the street
Like that.
one time.
That's they have a Halloween bottle.
It was like a Halloween bottle, and I think it was small batch. It was actually pretty tasty, but I don't think
Halloween.
Just the design on the front. They had like
it wasn't like spooky flavors.
No. They
Okay. It didn't come with like a sheet over it.
A master class in packaging, because their packaging is just
you.
amazing. Like for their holiday bottles and things like that. And so they have a lot of different products, but they aren't, as far as I know, they may be distilling there, but I think most of what they do right now is source stuff, which, kind of once we start talking about pass, try, or buy and tasting this and doing everything else, I'm wondering how it's going to stack up against other MGP, because we've talked a lot about MGP on this podcast. So
the popular popular back end for a lot of brands.
Yeah, buy some barrels, blend them, mix them, do whatever you do, and then you get fanfare, or you get people saying, "I'm never going to drink this again." And so hopefully this isn't the latter.
Well, let's go for our first taste.
All right.
I guess that spice comes through.
Spice, very spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Not overwhelming spice.
Not overwhelming. It's there.
It's there, yeah. But what else I'm getting that's a little bit interesting is like, we're not talking about normal fruit flavors. There's fruit flavors, but they're fruit flavors of the rind variety. And so what I mean by that is, like, if you ever taken like an orange rind or a lemon rind or a grapefruit rind, and you kind of, let's just say that you had that on the back of that and you're biting like an orange or whatever, and you kind of get a little bit of that zest or the rind flavor that comes through with the citrus. That's what's most notable to me for this. It's like a citrus rind, and it could be a numerous amount of things, but that's what I'm tasting.
I like your assessment of that.
Yeah, it's like hitting the back, like right in the back, like a
Speaking
rind.
of back,
yeah.
that heat is really hitting the back.
The heat is hitting the back too.
Pleasantly, it's not.
Yeah. What do you think about the front end though? Like, I mean, are you getting any classic bourbon flavors? Because I get a little bit of caramel, but it's very interesting. There's like a lot of flavors at once.
I think kind of like the nose. It's like, I don't know if I can put my finger on anything. Yeah. And it kind of reminds me, it's going to sound silly, of the clear Airheads.
Oh, I know what you mean. Like the mystery Airheads?
The mystery Airheads.
Yeah, dude, that's like a really good.
So we'll say the Airhead itself.
Dude, that's amazing. I love it.
Is a quote bourbon product.
Yeah.
Okay, and then like the flavoring could be like,
yeah,
your flavoring.
Yeah, that's
so this is like, it's white. Yeah. So there's no, it's like, I'm not gonna say there's no flavoring, but I get like, I get the body of the Airhead, which is like the heat and the spice and the weight and the warmth, but I don't know if I'm getting any like flavoring, like a grape or a cherry or tropical or watermelon.
That's a great assessment. There's really nothing. It's weird because I know that you didn't say this, but I'm going to say it now, and I know you're going to agree with me, is that you talked, and we've talked in the past about how we've had bourbons that taste like nothing. And this isn't that it's tasting like nothing.
It's not bad. Like, it's just
there's flavors canceling one another out, or they're overlapping, or something's going on where they like, it's like the mystery Airhead. Yeah. It's just not it's not hitting where it should be.
So you're gonna say the bottle I always joke around that is the most.
Oh God, no! You can bring up Clyde Mays.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew it. Gosh, don't. If you bring up Clyde Mays and Smoke Wagon, the same thing. Like, I feel like that's a disrespect.
One's Alabama, one's the countryside of Alabama, one's the glistening lights of Las Vegas.
And how do they taste similar? Oh no!
I always say that Clyde Mays is like the most vanilla bourbon.
Yeah,
not by flavor, just like it's just stock bourbon.
It is.
There's no flair,
and there's something to be said about that. That's
it.
Good.
It's just
it sells.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Not that this is there because I think there's more to it.
Yeah.
But tasting it, I'm just not getting a whole bunch of like descriptors coming out of it.
Oh, I agree. Now, like, I gotta ask you a question here. Now,
Yeah.
have you followed Aaron at all on Instagram? Because I know that we've talked about people to follow on Instagram and folks that we're mutually interested in when we're managing our Instagram account. But like, do you know anything about Aaron?
I do not.
He is a very like a vocal and in your face kind of person, but also, you can tell he's humble because like he makes connections with people. And I think I may have even messaged him like a long, long time ago, back when there was some crazy stuff going on with like a barrel pick that he had, someone had done at Smoke Wagon. They had done a barrel pick, and then like something happened with the distributor, and basically a store stole a barrel. I don't know if you ever heard that story.
Is this Wagon Gate?
It was like Wagon. That's a good thing we call it Wagon Gate, right? But the guy out of Florida, bourbon enthusiast, who once upon a time I used to message with, really good guy down there. He had picked a barrel with Smoke Wagon, and then however it got sent to the distributor, it wasn't like tagged for him. And then some goofball out of like San Diego named Crazy Nas. That's like this dude's legit name is like Crazy Nas. He had like bought the barrel from the distributor. So Bourbon Enthusiast selected it.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't tagged
I think
properly.
I got lost.
Yeah, it got lost. And then like Nas like basically was savvy in a sense that like he could buy it. And so he bought it. And it was like, it said Bourbon Enthusiast on it, but he was selling it through his website.
Oh, gosh.
It's crazy. And so like, I know at that time, like the bourbon community really rallied around Aaron and Smoke Wagon and Bourbon Enthusiast, and they really like supported them and said a lot of nice things. It was kind of crazy, but that was around the time that I was getting more. I mean, I had always been involved in social side of things, but I didn't care as much, and so that's when I really like kind of noticed Smoke Wagon for the first time because of that public sort of back and forth, and then the fact that like Aaron is like, I don't know, like he's just being himself on Instagram, and people like that because he rides motorcycles and smokes cigars and does like, he's like quintessential Vegas and like just a badass kind of person. And so that's really like, I don't know, it's just really like create a connection between the brand and the consumer base. So he's done a great job with this.
I think that's a good thing because you always brag about how Mike does with Blue Run.
Oh yeah, Mike does a great job with Blue Run.
He's always out there.
Yeah. You know what's funny about Blue Run? Like I was listening to I won't say what I was listening to, but I was listening to a podcast where they talked about like what makes Blue Run successful. And they couldn't have been more wrong because Mike handwrites notes. He like literally sits down and handwrites notes all day to people and takes care of that side of things. And it's like amazing that I can't remember what I was listening to, but they just missed that. They were like acting like Blue Run is just some fad. And I'm like, no, this guy is creating relationships.
One person at a time.
Exactly. One
group
person at a time. And like people that love and that's the same thing I feel like Smoke Wagon is doing with their brand is they create connections with people. And I feel like that's something that can't be underrated as we move forward in bourbon. So it's like, yeah.
And both of them, not that there are any similarity between the two.
They don't
just
source,
just new and but both of them came out of the gate with nice looking bottles.
Oh, absolutely.
Like this one with, I really in digging this, embedded.
Oh yeah, that like that waxed disc. That's
the embedded wax seal inside the glass.
It's nice. You can probably rip that out of there. Like I take all my.
Oh, here we go. He's gonna start selling.
I take all my Blue Run butterflies off the bottles and put them on another bottle.
You can make cufflinks out of those. Maybe?
You probably could. You could do a lot of things with them. You can make custom shoes. You could do a lot of things. So yeah, I mean, maybe we could do the same thing with these wax seals. But
well, with that, Anthony, would you pass, try, or buy on the Smoke Wagon Uncut, Unfiltered, Straight Bourbon Whiskey from Vegas?
Oh, from Vegas. I like that.
By Vegas.
So
from Vegas.
I have some friends that will, rightfully so, tell me to eat my own words on this one. But I probably would have been a pass the first time I tried this. And now I'm going to go and tell you that I'm going to be a try. And the reason why I'm a try is because I have spoke at length about how I don't feel like there's enough unique stuff going on with what people do with MGP. But I feel like they've done enough for you to try it. And I would say this. The other thing is they're on batch 142B, and the first batch came out in 2017. There's got to be some variation there. And so
That's a lot of batches.
Yeah. What started back with batch 1 and now we're at 142B, which leads me to believe there could be more than one letter, right? If you're going to dub it 142B, who knows? There could be 142F. I don't know. But I'm just saying that you give them a try, and I think that's warranted based on what I'm tasting tonight.
You know, based off my nosing and tasting, it makes it sound like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
I mean, but there is, you know, like I said, the airhead analogy.
Yeah.
The airhead is there. It's just,
I like that.
it's just different. It's unique.
Yeah.
In a crowded market, that's kind of a good thing to say.
Absolutely.
But I think I'm going to have to be a try on this.
Okay.
I think it's definitely worth giving it a shot if you can find it somewhere poor at a buddy's house.
Yeah.
But see if you like it, just because I don't know if I ever sat down after a hard day's work and decided to, you know, drink something that didn't have much something for me to nose the hell out of. Like, I like to nose.
Yeah.
So and that's just me. That's just me personally.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just hard to know something that is not going to give me much nose.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I'm going to be a try on this.
Yeah. I think that's completely fair. And it's better than saying what I've said about some other MGP products, which is like they're just not good.
Mm-hmm, right.
And I would just, just say pass. But like with this one, it's worth a look. I definitely think that also the one thing I will say is like this is a fresh crack in the sense that it's like about 2 weeks old. And so there has been some time for it to develop a little bit. And I think it's better now than it was when I first opened it.
In what way? It's just mellowed out.
It seems like it's mellowed out. There's more flavor to it. I feel like not only was
There's more flavor to it?
Yeah, and
gosh.
here's the thing. Yeah, it was very one dimensional. And I opened it, and it was very much like strong and weird. And I was like, initially, it was like no. Now it's sort of got to a point where I feel like it's something that I would indeed, I'll try it, but I might be able to drink it.
I wonder if there's a market. That's one thing I kind of hate about bourbon.
What's that?
Is that you have to let it breathe.
Yeah.
I wish that,
it's not true with everything though, because some of these bottles you open them and they're delicious right from the beginning.
That is true.
I watched like a 30-minute segment the other day about like what it means when air enters the bottle and all this other stuff. It's like, come on, you can aerate whiskey in a glass. We talked about that in the previous episode. You could do all kinds of stuff, but like, I don't know. I just feel like if you can't open a bottle of whiskey and pour it and it tastes good or tastes bad, that's why I stand by what we do on this podcast.
Yeah. And with that, thanks for listening to this week's edition. Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Master KY. Also, let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.